Hello, it's Chris Murphy here from Physio UK. I'm guessing that if you're on this third video, which details the third weekend of the Discover Physio Series, you've watched the other two. Now, if you've got this far, you're obviously quite inquisitive and your appetite has been whet with respect to what you'd gain from the series. The third weekend is a hard weekend. You will learn a lot. You will have many myths busted about the cervical spine, the shoulder, because the skills that you learn on the second weekend, the thorax, is that you will have gone away, you would have practiced some of those, and you would have found some successes, some frustrations. And the advanced thorax, as I said, adds on the neck, adds on the shoulder. In an extremely subtle way, you will find out how changes in the neck, changes around the shoulder, can influence the thorax, can influence the pelvis, can influence the hip. And I talked in the first video about drivers. What's driving this patient's problem? And so therefore we now, and you will start to talk quite confidently about a thorax-driven pelvis, a neck-driven thorax, a neck-driven hip, which was completely alien to me in my undergraduate training, in my early clinical years. But you'll be able to spot that. You'll be able to find those patients. And subtle changes around the neck can bring quite drastic changes around the hip. And LJ's got some fantastic case studies, and Diane's got some fantastic case studies which they will show you, of people where lower fibers of trapezius test, where they're testing very weak, subtle changes around the thorax, they suddenly test amazingly strong. So is that weakness? Is this interplay between the thorax, the neck, the shoulder, the pelvis, what's driving that? And what we need to do is have much, much better assessment techniques. And I'd say the answer is yes, and you'll get those. So the advanced thorax is the neck, the shoulder, and the thorax, and scapulothoracic control. As I said, it's a packed weekend, but some of the skills that you learned that don't quite work, some of the muscle imbalance things you would have picked up, they're all pulled together. So what you have is a coherent structure now. By the end of the third weekend, you can assess the pelvis, the thorax, and the upper quadrant. And you can start to spot where's the patient's driver, what do I need, if I've got a magic bullet, where do I fire it? So that you're not chasing around treating a bit of this, treating a bit of that. The patient's on board, they know what they're doing, they get the wow factor, you get the wow factor. And I guarantee you'll have some impressive clinical results that you haven't had up to date. So it's hands-on, it's mainly the subtle treatment techniques, fascial releases, active releases with the patient so that they're aware of what they're doing outside of the treatment area. Some joint techniques, we do talk through some mobilisations, some manips. If you've got a manip background, then potentially that can be integrated. But manips don't form a central part of this course at all, because what you'll discover is that most of the time you don't need to. But that's a discussion to have at another time. I hope that's whetted your appetite a little bit more. I hope you've got something from that, and I hope to see you on the series. Please do look at the lengthier description on the website to see if it really hits the spot for you and that you're thinking, yes, I'm prepared to make that investment. It's a time investment, it's a money investment, but I guarantee it's worthwhile. Thanks very much.